Romeo, still holding on 1.
113 Romeo, runway 1 at altitude, clear for takeoff.
13 Romeo, rolling, thanks.
There we go. A lot of similar numbers there.
Yeah. Okay, full throttle.
Tango, runway 1 at altitude.
Nose up.
And wait.
Good Tango, line up and wait.
Mains lift off. Lower the nose. Get speed. Trim. Lower the flaps.
Go Tango, fly straight out for 3 miles before.
Climb out 80 miles an hour.
1 at altitude, clear for takeoff.
Or slower, of course.
Or so.
953 Papa Sierra, runway 1 at altitude.
Climb rate looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Papa Sierra, line up and wait.
About 600 feet a minute on initial climb, 650 now, 700. And we're doing 75 miles an hour and about 700 feet a minute. Don't forget to smile. Remember, the camera's right on you, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
We got you nailed here.
It doesn't make a person the least bit self-conscious.
On course, runway 1 at altitude, clear for takeoff.
953 Papa Sierra, 3 miles.
Gentle turn to the right, to the east.
I was trying to remember the last time we might have been in the air together. It's been a while.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Quite a while.
You've flown with a lot of our pilots and our customers, but
Right.
yeah,
Not with you for
a long time.
a long time. And down here, this is your fuel shut off?
Yeah, main. Both wing, both wing tanks have shut off, so you
Okay.
can run off of one or the other or both. Normally both at all times. Side tubes. Started off with 12 gallons of fuel.
Okay, right. Sight tubes in each wing cell root.
Yep.
Very nice. I always like those indicators the best. They
Yeah.
never lie.
Yeah.
Great visibility here. So what we want to do is say, I'm the lucky one, I'm here at the show, I got to get up in the airplane with you. But for those that don't have my luck today, what would you show them about the Aerotrek?
Well, people are interested also in the cruise speeds, and this plane, of course, brand new with the larger tires, no wheel pants. It's a little slower than our regular A240.
Yeah, you got the
or
big
A240.
boy tires on here,
Yeah.
kind of tundra tires.
But we're cruising along here at 5,000 RPM at 150 mile an hour indicated, which is very typical for us.
Yeah, so that's going to translate to about 100, a little over 100 knots.
Yeah.
Hair over 100 knots. At low altitude at 5,000, a little over 5,000 RPM.
Yeah, on a pleasant day on a
southeast inbound.
outside air temperature 67, so
67.
not that far from a standard.
Yeah, fairly close to standard.
Yeah.
760, report a mile right base.
And that top number, the 169 that I'm seeing there, what is that?
That's the water temperature.
That's water temp, okay. So
Oil temperature, oil pressure, max highest EGT. It's a four probe EGT system. Outside air temperature, flight time, and RPM.
Okay.
And then the next page shows the total hours on the plane, which is 3 hours in this brand new plane. Little tight still. And the 4 EGTs, and then other information. And back to where we were. But customers like to, they like to see the cruise speed, the cruise RPM. They like to slow down, see slower
all right.
flight.
Let's see slow flight. And so Rob is, you can see him twisting his hand if that's in the camera view right now, but it's a vernier throttle, meaning he doesn't just pull it back. He can pull it back, but he's using the twist grip. If you haven't used one of those, You haven't been spoiled yet because they're pretty nice.
It works real well. It's
You can always push the button in and go full bore right away.
Yeah, or pull back. Yeah, no, it's an American-made vernier control throttle, made in Fort Wayne, Indiana, actually.
Oh, all right.
Adapted for aircraft use.
Right
And
down the road from you.
Really lets you dial in a little more, a little less power, real precisely, real easily, and your throttle doesn't slip.
And it doesn't slide, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. So. Okay, so now we're looking at about 80 miles an hour. Let's bring it down to almost stall and see how she looks then.
Yeah, we'll take it down to 60, then 50 mile an hour slow flight.
Oh, all right.
A little bit at a time,
You're on
holding our
report,
altitude.
And when you're moving the flaps.
Yeah, I went to full flaps just to
Okay,
change our deck
I
angle.
just want to move them a little bit, but it's just it's a continuous movement flap, right?
Yeah, infinite control. There's not notches, so you can go. It's marked, but you can go from 0 flaps to full flaps.
Yeah, okay. So the little markings I see down there on that welded rod, that's your positions that you're seeing.
Yes.
So you got full, half, and none.
Yeah.
That's what's marked for you. But you can have anything you want.
Right.
Any infinite.
Yeah.
Okay.
And takeoff is normally with half flaps. It lets it come off a little bit, sooner off the ground, of course, and at a flatter deck angle.
Would you ever use full for takeoff, like a soft field or something?
No. I guess you could. I've never found it to be necessary. I've never heard any reports of it being necessary. It really wouldn't increase lift that much. It would increase drag a little bit. So for takeoff, normally half flaps is just fine.
Half flaps for takeoff,
and you're up and going quick anyway.
Yeah, it was a pretty short takeoff run. What do you know it to be, or what would you estimate that was?
Well, normally about 300 feet.
300
feet. This is still a new plane, brand new engine, a little bit tight. And we also set up the prop, for cruise setting. So we don't make an effort to optimize, short field takeoff because we're already good for 300 feet and good climb.
All right.
And slowing down a little bit at a time to 60 miles an hour.
That's 1 November 491 November, it's 3 miles south.
But at 60 miles an hour, you can open the door in flight if you want to. If you'd like, can I open the door and then just,
Yeah, sure. Let's open the door. We're both a couple of old ultralight guys. Opening the door is the right thing to do.
It's got a gas strut, but you still, open the door and you kind of control it coming up.
All right, look at that.
You can fly along with one or both doors open. And this way, of course, it's windy out there, even at 55, 60 miles an hour. But you want to take
some
photos.
great photography with it, and it holds up there real nice and secure, and it's not jerking around.
Yep.
And at least on my side, I'm not feeling, obviously some more wind, but not a lot.
Just a little wind on my shoulder.
Yeah, see your shoulder sleeve there is wobbling a bit.
But great for photography.
Yeah, beautiful.
And you just bring it back down when you want to, but one or both doors.
60 miles an hour is the number for that?
I like to keep it down to 60 miles an hour, and the slower the better. And when you're by yourself, 50 miles an hour is real easy to fly around all day long, make gentle turns.
And you can do both of them at the same time, no issue.
Both of them at the same time.
Cool.
Or you can fly it with the doors off. But I'm very conservative. I like to keep it under 70 miles an hour with the doors off, and and avoid excessive side slip just to keep reduce the windiness.
Yeah, sure.
But okay, this is 60 miles an hour. Let me go a little bit slower.
We're just nice and steady here. We're barely doing anything. It is a nice, pleasant day, so we're benefiting from not having a lot of rock and roll in the sky. But now we're showing 50 miles an hour. This is miles an hour again.
Yeah, stable.
And we're showing 50.
Stable as can be. Hands off.
3950 RPM, and we're level in flight. So that's nice and easy. If you just wanted to loiter around and have a look at this countryside, this would be a good place to do it.
Yeah,
and this is with full flaps out now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adds a good bit of lift, a little bit of drag. And we'll just keep slowing down a little bit with full flaps. And what I want to do, and what I do with customers and new purchasers, is we slow down and we let it begin to bobble and kind of feel the stall, but we don't make an effort to stall recovery, as you'll see here. We're down at 40 miles an hour now.
We're about 43 right now, 42, 41.
But as we begin to feel it sag a little bit, I'm not going to lower the nose and jam the power. I'm just going to let it kind of bobble a little bit. To show kind of how it,
Yeah, there's a little bit of wandering I'm feeling. That's at about 36, 35, 34. There you go.
Now, you see, I did not even move the stick, and it just dropped its nose to level and resumed flying.
It just said, I haven't got enough here. I'm gonna do what you should be doing.
Well, and that's why we've never had a stall spin accident in the 27 years these planes have been manufactured.
27 years. And how many of these are flying around the world?
Over 500.
500 around the world.
Over 100 in the U.S. since delivering
over 100 in the U.S. So
20%
of the market's in the U.S. then.
Yeah, over 100 in the market in the U.S.
Right. And you've got some in Canada and other places as well through your distribution.
Yes. Got a couple down to Mexico, one at a flight school down on the Pacific coast of Mexico at a university.
Taxiway runway 1 at altitude. Clear.
And I'm just reducing power. I'm going to go even slow.
Yeah, we're down to under 3,500 RPM now, which in the Rotax 912 is nearly idle thrust. Not quite, of course, but a little more room to go. That was at about
And I'm just holding, I'm keeping the stick fully back, and I'm just picking up a little bit with the rudder.
Stick is full aft, and you're just guiding it with the rudders a little bit.
Yeah, and then
but it's being real cooperative through this horsing around we're doing.
Yeah, just having fun and showing the safe characteristics. Okay, here's a basically full idle, or just virtually.
Okay, now we're down to,
Okay, and we're just bring the
above
nose
2,000,
up.
that's idle.
Okay, and the stick
There's
all
40.
the way back.
There's about 36.
Stick held all the way back. Still all the way back. I mean, see,
Wow.
then it drops down. And
Yeah, you were not only not recovering, you were fighting the recovery, and it's still just
a little bit of a.
I got to get my nose down.
Yeah, a little bit of a falling leaf maneuver, but no, it's very safe. It's very stall resistant and very benign in the stall. That's the most important thing. And it doesn't stall if you have any power at all. It doesn't stall without the nose abnormally high. So it's not. People just don't get into inadvertent stalls.
If you can see horizon, you're probably pretty good.
Oh yeah, you can't stall if you see the horizon. Well, and now, so we say, let's see that. If we see the horizon,
yeah, let's check that out here.
Let's just have a little fun.
All right.
I'm just,
working it down there slowly. We're now looking
barely seeing the horizon.
45 miles an hour.
But
horizon still just right at the top there.
Yeah, for me and you.
At our height anyway.
Yeah,
right at the top of the engine bulge.
Yeah, so what we're seeing about a 43 mile an hour, 45 mile an hour minimum
45,
speed.
46 right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking straight onto it, so
like you pointed out, if you can see the horizon, you're just not really stalling. Now, of course, you get a rate of descent going. We're getting a 500, 460, foot minute rate of descent as you'd expect.
Which is not all that fast.
Yeah, with no power.
Right, and that's no power. We're at idle thrust.
That was at idle.
And you had to stick all but full back, if not full back.
Yeah, it was almost full back. And no flaps again. And then going now, the normal kind of floating around, loitering around, will be at 70, 80 miles an hour.
Okay.
And
we're doing about right at 70 right now.
And half flaps is kind of nice. You're going to go like 60 to 70. So then you can fly around hands off, just like this, maybe a little less than 70 miles an hour.
Just about 67.
And you just make gentle turns, mostly with a little bit of rudder. But the slow flight capabilities are coupled with the really great visibility of this plane. It's one of the most enjoyable features.
Yeah,
really.
Visibility is very good. Now, I'm average height, so if you're really tall and had your head way up near the canopy there, you might not have my view, but I can see without having to duck my head. When I look laterally, I'm not seeing the wing at all, the wing root at all. I'm looking straight out.
Yeah.
I got terrific vertical visibility. If I want to crank myself around, I can see out the back. I can see the tailplane. I can see some of the tailplane anyway. I got good lateral visibility. It's good all around. And these big clear doors with their big curvature to them, it almost feels like we got the doors off.
Yeah.
Because there's almost no structure
and that's what
in our way.
Yeah, and that's what we found. Many people ask, well, can you fly with the doors off? And the answer is yes, at slower speeds. But they find that with the large vents that we began installing about 5 years ago, I've flown in 100-degree ambient temperatures up in Indiana, just opened the vents and still been comfortable at 100 degrees outside temperature because you get a really great blast of air, really good airflow through the plane.
Yeah, well, but just the kind of the curvature of the door there and the way this thing goes out, you're going to draw in a ton of air there.
Well, there's the vent open.
Yeah, so that's wide open. Wow, that makes it almost windy in here.
Yeah, on a 66-degree day like it is up here, it's a little bit chilly. Oh, and we've got a good cockpit heater, of course.
Good northern boy, got to have a heater.
Oh,
we Floridians kind of go, what's that again?
Yeah.
Why would you need that again?
So I've heard.
Being silly here. If you go up at altitude high enough, no matter where you are, it's going to get cooler, so that'd be good.
And another thing customers want to see, what I do during test flying.
Yeah, show me the whole bit.
Yeah, let's see what full throttle.
All right.
And max speed is. And this will be slower with this one.
Let's pick up a heading here. We're about 205 now, so let's do that.
Low wing, just cross the overhead the field, you start your descent.
And let's crank her up all the way and let's see what she gets at level altitude.
Yep. And just dial the power in nice and easy like it's best for the engine, of course.
And Rob, if you see his hand reaching down, next to the flap handle, which has a big ball on it, is the trim handle, which has a horizontal. So you could feel a horizontal grip, that is.
Yeah.
You could feel the difference without looking. You just reach down there and I can tell I've touched the trim. I'm not moving it, but I touched the trim. Okay, so here we are cranking along now. We're at 5240 RPM. The temperatures are still remaining low, very low actually.
Yeah, we have really strong oil cooling and a radiator for
yeah,
the
that's
cooling.
166. Is that water or oil?
Yeah, this one, that's water, is 166. Oil is only 147.
Wow, so it's really low temperature.
Yeah.
So the cooling is working. Now, it's not a hot day, agreed, but still, that's really good cooling, I would say.
Yeah. Well,
and so we're seeing about right at 115.
Yeah. Well, and see, this again, it's a new plane, and we've not tweaked the prop yet. We're only showing 5260 RPM.
Yeah, you should see 5,500 or so.
Yeah, we like to see 5450. Set up for
and
good
now we're up
cruise.
to 120 with. And we're actually gaining a little bit, so that wasn't the dive we were in.
Yeah.
And creeping a little above 120, that's miles an hour again.
Yeah, when we get done and get it broken in a little bit more, another few hours on it, we'll probably adjust the prop, take about a quarter degree pitch on the prop, so we hit like 5450, touch 5500 RPM, and we'll have a little bit more speed because a little
And then
more
you might see like
more
125.
power. Oh yeah.
And again, we're at low altitude, so obviously if you go up higher, you're going to get a better true out of it.
And the bare larger tires are going to cost us probably 5 miles an hour.
Right.
Especially at the higher
Do you
speeds.
have wheel pants for these big boy tires?
No.
Okay.
No, we use the wheel pants with our standard size tires on both the tricycle gear and the tail dragger. And it should comment, we also offer this plane in a tail dragger.
Right, that's the A240 then.
Yes. Same plane, but tail dragger configuration.
And then, of course, the main here, did the mains come up to this forward door point at that time?
Well, yeah, they're positioned forward.
Roughly up there then, okay.
Yeah.
So, and so we're using the camera is showing the device, and this device, if you don't recognize it, that's an iPad. What software are you running?
This is WingX Pro.
WingX Pro, okay.
Yeah. Our customers use WingX Pro, 4Fly, FlyQ, iFly, Garmin.
Is it all its own information, or are you hooked up to another device like a level or something?
No, this is entirely...
This is strictly what's on the iPad itself, nothing is connected to it.
Yeah, it's completely free. At the moment, this is completely freestanding. Of course, you can add the eye level or any of the other devices that will provide ADS-B, if weather, flight. Of course, let's see. I think we can push a button and go to My Radar. And well, okay, thanks. Remind me later. It's a new.
Everybody knows about iPad.
Yeah, everybody knows about iPads. I'm just curious whether this will show any weather, off of the internet here.
Yeah, because you are getting some signal up here, so.
Yeah. Not really showing anything.
Well, there's not really too much to be talking about here.
I don't know if there's really anything right
there. A little modest cloud layer up there, but not much. So there wouldn't be much to see if you did look.
Yeah. Well, we'll not bother with that. But the nice thing is with the and why most of our customers the last several years have gone with the iPad installation is because of all that it offers.
Yeah, and it's a nice installation there. How are you attaching it to the panel?
Yeah, well, we use a nice back that it just snaps into, and it's just held.
So the back stays there, and you just pop the bare iPad into it.
And it's just a surface mount, but as thin as the new iPad Air 2 and the iPad Pro 9.7 is, it sits nicely on the panel, and it's not really much thicker than like the AppMap.
The AppMap, and at about the same distance out here. So.
Well, and this is also our new panel design that started in mid-2016. Our earlier panel designs, they would accommodate for the last 4 years anyway, the full-size iPad, but had to be mounted vertically, and it stuck up a little bit of the glare shield. It worked fine, but starting in mid-2016, it was a panel redesign to make more room so we can mount a full-size 9.7-inch iPad horizontally on the panel, which provides a better, better view, like when you're using synthetic vision or other information. It's just a really, great way of doing things. So that's really popular.
Excellent. Okay. Let's see. What else? You want to demonstrate accelerated stalls for me? Turning stalls?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good degree bank there. I would put that at about almost 45 degrees. Nose is coming up nice and high. We're at 5,000 RPM.
Down to 50.
Speed is now 52.
Without delay, traffic short final.
Coming down to 50. I mean, the deck angle is, we're going to the moon here, so about 44 or so. Felt a little bubble there.
It just doesn't do it.
I mean,
it holds.
You're looking literally at the sky. You got to know you're too high.
At the sky and sideways
and very sideways. So there just wasn't really any.
No.
Let's try that again now with real modest power.
Yeah.
Keep the power down low and.
522 uniform, you can cross out.
Yeah, there's 55, there's 50. Power is 4,500. Speed is 45 or 48. Down to 45 now. There it is. Just got to roll level.
Yeah.
And you didn't do that.
No.
It just did it.
It just, no.
Said, look, guys. We got to have something else here. What you idiot pilots are doing isn't working.
Well.
All right. So let's put it at like a mid-range slow cruise.
Yeah, loping along 80, 90 miles an hour is very comfortable, very easy.
All right.
Low fuel burn.
And
Oops. Trim.
and no flaps. Your flaps are off?
Yep.
Okay. May I take the airplane?
Yes, you have.
All right. I got the airplane. All right, let me pick out a road here or something. There's one down there.
Sebring Tower, blue.
And very nice stick movements. All, I would say the whole range of what I'm doing right now. Let me get this for you here. I'll get on that orientation. Okay, so now I'm going to do my little Dutch roll thing. I got a road out my side that I can see readily. And this is just a control exercise that I always like to do early on. And one of the ways I can tell if an airplane has what I think is agreeable handling is if I can do them reasonably well like this right away. So now I'm using a liberal stick movement because we're not going that fast, and I'm trying to make it go further. But those total stick movements off of center are no more than about 3 inches. And I'm just using coordinated use of the controls, not letting it go too far into an actual turn before I go the opposite way. And before I make Rob lose his lunch here, I'll stop that. But it shows those were at least 30 degrees to each side. They were pretty much on the horizontal, the longitudinal axis, and not too sloppy. So Rob, of course, would do them nicer, I'm sure, but
no, not really. But now one improvement in our planes, you know, in 2012, the AeroPro designed a larger vertical stabilizer.
2012, okay.
In early 2012, we provided a little bit more yaw stability, but also we came up with a design for a rudder centering device, which lets the rudder, when you're not pushing one way or the other, it greatly increases the yaw stability. It adds to the vertical stabilizer back there. So our planes used to be, as originally from Europe, kind of rudder planes, if you know what I mean, where the pilot was flying the rudder pretty much all the time, and you got used to it, and you know, some dozens of hours, and it's okay. And like the early avid flyers and many other planes. But we wanted a plane that was just more relaxing to fly, better inherent stability, and we've always had good roll and pitch stability, but yaw stability was something I always felt we should improve.
Yeah.
And in 2012, they made those two changes, the rudder centering device and the larger vertical stabilizer.
Now, how
made a huge improvement.
Explain the rudder centering device for me a little bit. And by the way, folks, what we're doing here is I'm doing some steep turns while Rob is doing this. So, they're very easy. I didn't do anything on that one. Now let's see. Usually it's easiest to your side. Now we'll go to the other side. I'll have to work at it a little bit harder, but they're pretty easy. So I want you to explain that rudder centering device a little bit.
Many of the sport planes, even I remember going back to the earlier flight design planes in Europe and others, were very sporty and had sporty, quick, responsive handling, which is great for yanking and banking and just fun flying. Where the rudder is just connected to the pedals, and there's no inherent stability. The pilot is flying the rudder at all times, and that's okay. But then the pilot is flying the rudder. You can't really fly.
If you push the right rudder, it'll stay right rudder.
Well, yeah, there is that, and you have to kind of be flying the rudder. You can't like fly feet off like we can now. The rudder centering device is a system that pulls the rudder to a properly centered and adjustable, ground adjustable rudder trim centered position that holds it whereas the pilot can then just put with some gentle pressure on either rudder, you deflect it appropriately. And so it feels like a much larger plane that way, and it has a great deal now, very good.
So it just always wants it to draw it back to the center.
Right.
And
it always does pull it back to the center.
And you're resisting that by the use of the rudder pedals.
And it makes the rudder, instead of it just being I used to tease and call it a flippy-floppy rudder, where there was no real feedback, a little bit of aerodynamic feedback, and now it just comes back, on its own, and it has, real good yaw stability for a light sport aircraft.
Okay, so let's test that a little bit. I'm going to push the right rudder pedal and then release it. And you can see right away there, it just guided itself back.
Yeah.
Almost immediately, too. And I'm going to do the same thing with the left rudder. And I'm doing a pretty significant deflection there, and then I'm not doing anything. Now, it didn't come back quite as far. I think P-factor is at work there.
Yeah.
Because we're running about 4,600. So it's in any aircraft with a tractor engine, it's going to behave that same way.
We're cruising. Good. Yeah, we're cruising along at 100 mile an hour indicator.
And we're 100 miles an hour. So now a little bit of stick deflection to the side. And without any correction, it will tend to overbank a little bit, but it takes nothing to get that back. And in fact, a little back pressure is going to stop that overbanking. If you don't do anything, it will tend to do that. Again, that's a normal function for any airplane. That's not unusual.
We're normally having to pull a little back pressure even in a GA plane, you know, during the bank.
Sure. You got to have a little bit because you're losing some lift, so you got to make it up somehow.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not in a glider or something like that, but that's a completely different kind of airplane.
Yeah.
So here I'm using, I don't know, maybe a pound of back pressure to not let the nose drop through. And I didn't do anything with trim through this. So obviously, if you needed to be in a series of turns for a while, you could use trim and make it a lot easier. You might notice, folks, that I'm turning a lot because this airplane is fun to turn. This just takes nothing. That turn right there was probably no more than an inch of deflection and literally, I don't know, a pound or 2 pounds, almost nothing. I'm using 2 fingers on the stick. You can probably see it in one of the cameras if we're showing that right now.
Well, you fly, of course, you fly, every kind of airplane and many more different types of airplanes than I fly, but I hope you will agree that we have reasonably balanced control forces of pitch, roll, and yaw.
Sometimes that's called control harmony, and it's not that way in all airplanes.
Yeah.
Some have heavy rudder or heavy aileron and light rudder, and you can get used to anything, but this is quite nicely balanced. I'm kind of putting in the amount of rudder I think should work, and it seems to be working fine.
The slip
that ball is not, it's not a software thing to make it stay in the center.
No, you're either lucky or good because the ball has been staying centered. I've been keeping an eye on you.
Well, I'm using now my pressure on the rudder pedals also not very far. I mean, I'm just nudging the rudder pedal with these things I'm doing, and the pressure is light, so it is a good control coordination or control harmony between the joystick and the ailerons, that is, and the rudder pedals and the rudder. Very, very nice. Now let's try a little bit of pitch oscillation. So we're still at 4,600. We're level and it's about 3,600 altitude. I'm going to pull it up just gently and I'm not going to do anything. My guess is it's going to go down. I'm going to use a little bit of right rudder just to straighten us a bit there. Very slowly down.
A little bit short of 1, number 2, 738.
Didn't want to go too far. It's already going to start heading on its way back up now. Okay, so that's a normal response. That's a response you want. We do that a little bit more, and then let go. And I'm not doing anything except adding a little bit of right rudder because we got some P factor working at us there. It's a very gentle drop. That right away tells me it's not going to be much because some airplanes will kind of just walk right down. And this one hardly went below. It did go below level. And now I left my rudder pedal in there and it showed right away. So I relaxed the rudder pedal. We're coming back up. It should go above and then it should slowly oscillate to nothing. And I can see it's going to do that. There's no point in waiting too long for that. A very nice cooperative airplane. Control factors are light. Now we're both we're not big guys, but I would say we're about average.
Oh, sure.
And I've got a couple inches of room. I could get away from Rob if I wanted to.
Oh yeah.
But it's very comfortable. Visibility is fantastic, so I tell you what, let's why don't we head back in now? Is there anything else that you would have showed somebody that we didn't do?
No.
We didn't do a power off stall.
Oh yeah. Well, just go ahead and do it.
All
it's
right.
so easy.
So I'm going to back it off here. I got the airport in sight out there, but we're well clear. I'm just going to not go any closer to it. And let's see, that other zone, that other
and you're at
MOA is good, so I'm going to come back on power now.
And you're with 0 flaps.
And I've got 0 flaps, so we know we've got no flaps out. So this would not be a typical approach stall. This would just be maybe a en route. Okay, power's back all the way. Nose is coming up gently. And we'll just wait a minute. Oh, not even a minute, probably. There's 50. Not quite 50. Stick is coming back full aft. There's 48 or so. I'm using a little bit of rudder to straighten this, just a little bit. Kind of airplane kind of wallowing around saying, I don't like it. Sticks full back, no effort of recovery. It just didn't do anything. All I'm doing.
While you're here, you might as well do the same thing with full flaps.
All right.
Because you're all
slow now, so. Okay, I do need to loosen my
here, I'll give it for
straps.
you.
Okay,
full, gently applied full flaps.
Okay, and now I got to have a little bit of trim in there because now I noticed it. Okay, nose is coming up. 45, 40, 38. Stick is full aft. I can't go any further back with the stick now. little bit of wandering of the nose, but that was it. There's your stall. So
it is benign.
nothing much to that at all. No great surprises. And the great visibility, thank you, and the great visibility we've got also gives you lots of visual clues that, hey, this is not what you should be seeing, guys. Okay, I'll turn the airplane back over to you. You need to have a little nose low there. I didn't trim it. And let's go ahead and head on back in and do a landing. See how that works out. Yeah, this makes a great display here, though.
It's a tremendous display.
Talk about inexpensive. I mean, first of all, if you already have an iPad, well, then it's just the mount. That's it.
Yeah, well, we do an iPad mount and the dual hidden cigarette lighter power sockets behind the panel.
Oh, you do? Okay. So you can have power to it.
Oh, yeah. I haven't got it plugged in, but at the moment it's $75 for your iPad ready to go.
Beautiful. So, and if you don't have one, even the higher end one with lots of memory on it, and whatnot, about $1,000. So that's a very cheap device.
This is the most expensive one, that iPad offers, and I bought this when I was needing an update, $680 for an iPad Pro 9.7. I went with the Pro 9.7 instead of the Air 2, just basically the same thing, only it's reputed to have a little bit lower glare screen. And what I'm seeing is very good.
Yeah, and I've got polarized glasses on that sometimes makes those go dark, and
really?
It's not. I can see it very well with these on.
Yeah.
If you want to add air data and attitude and heading reference system, that's the ADAHARS thing that everybody says. That'll give you everything that you would have on an instrument panel with the addition of a level, which can be as little as I think about $900.
Oh yeah.
So for about $2,000 or less, you could have this same thing with full. Not IFR capable, obviously, but with all the instrumentation that an IFR airplane would have in it. Yeah.
And by the way, as an option, but that everybody gets, is an EFIS like this, and this is the AVMAP Ultra EFIS. It not only is a really fine EFIS, which is basically an attitude indicator, but it also is a very fine GPS. It is a full GPS nav system. Not really time to go over that detail. It's a separate thing. You got to work with the AVMAP people sometime for a video about that.
That's fine. We understand it. We don't need to learn how to use it. But basically, so you got. If iPad for some reason went dark on you, you got another very nice capable instrument here.
Push the button twice, and it'll take you from here to Los Angeles or any place. It's not a moving map, but as a full North American database, it's kind of like back to 1995, only with a very modern, multi-channel GPS that works tremendously well. So that's a great feature, and we sell this is on the plane for $1095 installed. But that's $1,000 and $1,095 installed. It's just tremendous equipment.
Yeah, so you got a full instrument panel here for not really very much money.
Yeah.
We don't need to have the exact numbers, but it's not a lot. And in fact, some of this is what comes with the airplane, right?
Everything is standard except your own iPad.
Okay, this is standard too?
No, this is the only option for $1,095.
Okay, so everything else but the two screens, and even with the screens, you're only looking at about $2,000 more for both of them.
Yeah, and most people want their iPad anyway.
Yeah, well, you got to watch a movie at night.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So why not? Check your email, all that stuff. Not while you're flying, folks.
Okay, now the airport is 8 miles away. We might as well just descend a little bit. Yeah, but we're just in, nice, easy cruising mode, 85, 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, the aircraft is very pleasant at this speed, and you're still getting around, and we're not burning much fuel.
No, we'd be burning about 2.7 gallons per hour.
Is that at this speed and stuff, huh?
You can check the cows, watch the crops.
And how much fuel have we got on board, Rob?
22 gallons.
22 gallons? Is that two 11s?
It's 10.5, and the 1 gallon header tank.
Okay, there you go.
And of course, we also have a low fuel warning system. We not only have sight tubes where you know when you've got fuel, but when you run out of your wing tanks and are getting down to that last 1 gallon, when that begins to go down, there's an annunciator light that tells you that you're down. You've still got, they say 0.9 gallon, but basically 1 gallon left, which is good for another 15 minutes of flying, even at cruise speed.
So if that comes on,
it's time to start
landing.
Start looking for an airport.
But you're not anxious yet.
No, it's a very good safety device. And that's why, as far as I know, no one has ever run out of gas on one of our planes and had a forced landing because of
that. And again, that's something that's standard on the airplane?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Sebring Tower, Aerotrek 113 Romeo, 5 miles to the east at 2,500 feet inbound for landing. Should we cross over midfield, stay high, enter left downwind for runway 1, or what do you advise?
3 Romeo, from the, stay in your position, you're 5 east?
5 east, correct, at 2.5.
And 13 113 uniform. If you're 5 east, enter the right base for runway 1 and report a 2-mile right base. And say again your type.
Very good. LSA, 2-seater, yellow plane, and entering a long right base runway 1 right now.
Light Sport 13 Romeo, thanks. Wind's estimated 320 at 5, altimeter 3003.
Beautiful.
Yeah, good tower work, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, once we catch up with them, and we are now. Yeah, we brought this plane down to Sebring in our trailer because it has folding wings and good trailer ability and all that. But I'm going to fly it home.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you lucky dog.
Well, it depends on how cold it is at home. But
Number
we've got a good.
113 Romeo, say your position now.
Very close to turning right base for runway 1.
13 Romeo, got you in sight. Runway 1, you're clear to land.
113 Romeo, clear to land. Thanks. Okay, get her down to under 90 miles an hour. Go to full flaps. Trim up. I'm going to hold it at 70 miles an hour until we get a little closer. A little bit of bumpy down here, isn't it? So
Yeah,
13 Romeo, if you would land at or beyond the orange dots, please.
And we're okay. We got lots of speed.
We're good.
Okay. There's those big dots. Okay, holding it off, and we came in kind of hot. Holding it off, 50 miles an hour.
Beautiful. Feels like an easy lander.
Yep. Dump the flaps. Apply a little brake. Sebring Tower 113 Romeo holding. Is it okay to proceed on the taxiway to the south?
3 Romeo, affirmative. Into the ramp with me. Good day.
Into the ramp first.
I'm going to do a watch in case ground. Oh, our radio, our nice German manufactured radio and intercom and transponder. Anyway, we got to do a watch so we can listen to both frequencies at the same time on one radio.
You're in
See the
sight.
guy ahead of you?
Report runway 1, third land.
He's not seeing too well, so.
And we kill the power and we oops, engine off.